To Ben Affleck though, I really like his filmography as a director for the most part.
Hmm.
I wasn't fully in love with Air. I thought Air was a nice comeback, I guess, of sorts.
Hmm.
And it's a little disheartening to think about the trajectory of his career as a filmmaker because it seemed like it was rising to this level where he could, I don't know, be the next Clint Eastwood, I guess, or the next whatever name you want to throw out there as far as,
Hmm.
one of the best directors that we've seen that came from the field of acting.
Yeah.
And that did stall out for a while. And a lot of it came as a result of his involvement with the DCEU. And I'm not here to bash the DCEU. That's not what this
Oh, yeah.
assignment is
It's not
for.
about the
But
DCEU. If anything, it's more about the scheduling and the timing of it all.
yeah, well, and obviously he wanted to direct a Batman movie. Like he
Yeah.
was on deck to direct a solo Batman movie that fell through for whatever reason. I don't even
Yeah.
know if it's ever come out to
As
light
to
as to
why?
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I'd
know.
be
But
curious.
yeah.
There's a
And
there's a documentary to be made on that, and I would
I wanna be
watch
a
it
fly on the
day
wall for
one.
that conversation, yeah. But
Yeah.
then and then, I know around that same time, he had directed that period crime caper, Live by Night, which I know wasn't very well received, and maybe
No,
that had something to do with
that
it
was
as well.
bad.
Yeah, that was
And I
not very good.
don't well let me look at it here. So part of it is it had a budget of well there's two numbers here. I'm not sure which one it is. I guess so it had a
The internet doesn't even know.
the internet doesn't even know. Okay, so a budget of 90 million. Let's just say 90 million.
Mhm, okay.
The box office, according to this that I'm looking at anyway, is 22.7. So that's not great. And also, it was just absolutely destroyed by critics,
It was, yeah.
absolutely murdered. And it came out at a weird time. Like, it was like the end of December in 2015 or 2016 with very little marketing and discussion around this film,
Yeah,
which I always thought was strange because
yeah.
this was the next directorial effort of his following an
Argo.
Oscar
Yeah,
for Best Picture.
yeah.
So this is his next movie following Argo, and not a word about this movie. It just drops in theaters in December of
Yeah,
2015.
I guess people behind the scenes knew more about it than we did. And after seeing the final
Clearly.
product, maybe that's what they were revealing or holding close to the chest for a little while.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe there was some production hell with it. I don't really know. I'd have to go
I wouldn't
back
be
and
surprised. It is such a
look into
choppy
it.
movie that feels like it was butchered in some way, or at least it felt like a director whose wings were clipped not to make the movie
Yeah.
he wanted to make.
Yeah, it could be one of those things too where they rushed the production maybe
Yeah.
because of the Oscar win. I don't know. I don't know the story there. I'd have to go and look at it. But I do agree that there was probably some sort of either rush production or some sort of
Which
studio involvement because
yeah.
the editing is a
It's
nightmare
atrocious.
in
Yeah,
that
which is
film.
a shame
It's bad.
because say what you will about Argo being a Best Picture winner and whether it's one of the better Best Picture winners of the past decade. I think it's an awesome movie. I think it's a good thriller, a really good thriller, and might
Mhm.
be my favorite Ben Affleck directed film of the 5 films he has directed thus far. I don't really care what like how that fits into the conversation, but it's unfortunate
Mhm.
that following a really effective film like that, it just goes in the complete opposite direction one film later, and
Yeah,
I don't think he deserved
crazy.
that.
No, I don't think he did either. And then obviously because of his involvement in the DCEU,
Mhm.
he didn't really get back into the director's chair for quite some time after that.
Yeah.
But say what you will about him and his involvement with the DCEU. That's just one little bit of it. Obviously, there was his performance, his role in The Accountant, which I thought was actually kind of fun. Gone Girl
I
obviously
got
was a
yeah,
huge hit for
yeah,
him at that
yeah,
time. Around that time,
sure.
what else was he in? Though that film in 2020, the basketball movie.
Oh, The Way Back.
The Way Back. That
Yeah.
one, so that was like a good welcoming to him as performatively, like, because people were like Oscar worthy, especially during
Yeah.
COVID, maybe. Like
Well,
there was
especially
that conversation.
wasn't that one also channeling his own personal demons around
That
alcoholism
too,
too?
yes.
So yeah, there was a lot of that happening behind the scenes as well, for sure.
And that
So there
could
was,
also
yeah,
speak to some of the problems of Live by Night as well.
maybe,
I,
yeah.
again, I
Again, we
don't
don't
know the
know. We can
story
only
there. I don't
speculate.
know. I
Yeah,
don't want to infer anything, but that could be part of
yeah,
why that film was what it was.
yeah,
At any rate, yes, The Way Back, him kind of channeling those demons and artistically, being cathartic about it, I thought was really
yeah,
great in that film. And his
for sure.
performance was fantastic.
I like his
I did love
performance in
that.
that. Yeah, pretty good movie.
Yeah, pretty good
Yeah,
movie.
but yeah, Ben Affleck
And
overall pretty good director.
yeah, really like him as a director. But I also just want to know, like, because during that time he also did The Last Duel, which I thought was great.
Oh, good
And
movie.
worth noting, him and Matt Damon as writers, they should have been nominated for a screenplay for that movie. They should have. They should have been nominated. They weren't, and they were robbed. I want to throw that out there. So like,
They went
even
full Boston in a period movie like that. Like that should not be allowed, and it's amazing.
incredible. His performance, wow. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
quite unreal. So like he's done some good work despite being in either director's jail, or it could just be a bunch of unfortunate circumstances that kind of
Yeah.
accounted. Because Air comes out last year, and that's his next directorial effort since Live by Night, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
That was.
that's nearly a 10-year gap, almost 8-year gap, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so like Air was perhaps a safe movie. It
Mhm.
wasn't necessarily trying to be controversial or provocative, but for a
He also didn't
film
write it
about
too.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but just, him back in the director's chair, making a movie that it was more than satisfying.
Yeah.
And obviously fits the bill here because he is on camera a little bit anyway.
Yeah. For sure.
In a fun little memorable role, those sunglasses, which I have. The Amazon sent me those sunglasses,
Of course they did.
which was a lot of fun. So thank you for that.
That's cute. That's cute.
But yeah, no, I guess that's like, it's just an interesting story, Ben
Yeah.
Affleck as a director.
I agree.
Because
I
like
agree.
his early directorial efforts, I really liked quite a bit. Gone Baby Gone. I can't remember exactly where I had that ranked for me, but it was one of my favorite films of its year. If not top 10, it was just outside of that.
It was certainly
The
close to top
Town is
20 for
awesome.
me. Yeah. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, he has showed great promise as a filmmaker. I hope that, whatever that trajectory was from 2007 to 2012, hopefully we can get back to that in some
I think we
ways
will.
with
I
Ben
think we will.
Affleck. So,
Air was a big enough hit that I think we can trust him again.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.